From OMG, O'Keefe Media Group, DNC compliance manager says Kamala is weirdly unpopular, won't win in 2024. I like Kamala Harris, but I don't think she'd win this year. This is Joyce how do you pronounce it? DeCerce? No idea.
Sure.
DeCerce?
Let's go Game of Thrones.
Yeah. In a new Undercover video released by O'Keefe Media Group on Tuesday, revealed DNC and Kamala Harris campaign compliance manager, Joyce DeCerce, saying that Harris will not win this year, adding, she's weirdly unpopular. I like Kamala Harris, but I don't think she'd win this year. She's weirdly unpopular. I think a lot of that is racism and misogyny. And the vice president is so easy to attack, right? She doesn't have any accomplishments to speak of because she's vice president. She doesn't make laws. I agree. It's pretty interesting to see that internally at the Kamala Harris campaign, former Biden campaign, and at the DNC, this is not some low-level guy. It's not the highest-level guy, but they're outright admitting what everyone feels. Kamala? She can't win.
By the way, I just went to his Twitter feed. These posts are protected. And the biopic, for anybody who's interested, is he's wearing a face mask. So that tells you a lot of what you need to know. But it's an amazing thing. Weirdly unpopular. Their word of the week is weird. And
is, right?
It's weird that they're using it to describe their adversaries when clearly they're using it internally to describe themselves.
They're trying so hard with the weird thing, and I don't think they know. So they've been tweeting at me like crazy. I can't remember what I posted that Kamala's Project Special K will force women to get abortions, and the military will go and kidnap Hondurans and bring them to America to force them to live in your home.
800 wars.
800 new wars will begin. That means 4 new wars for every country on Earth, and some more than 1. And some more than 4. And I get this wave of responses saying, you're weird, you believe insane things. And I'm like, dude, I don't believe for a second that the Krasensteins think that tweet's real, because they tweet at me and I tweet at them all the time. But they're pretending like I'm literally saying there's a real thing called Kamala Project Special K. But the response was that it was like, you're weird. And I'm sitting here being like, y'all don't know who you're dealing with. Like, weird? You want to see weird? I bought a 95-foot tall billboard in Times Square of my rooster. We'll play weird. But this attack, they try it again and again and again, tweeting at everybody, calling them weird. I think it actually works on conservatives. Conservatives are getting so wound up over being called weird that they're doing this troll campaign where all of these leftists and liberals on X are just posting at people that you're weird, that's weird, and people are actually freaking out. They're like, I'm not weird, you're weird. Don't call me weird. Here's you weird, and they're posting pictures of Democrats and things like this. And I'm like, bro, I'm weird. I love it.
It's kind of an odd jiu-jitsu, right? It's because there was that document from the Republicans as soon as Kamala was sort of de facto nominated. There was a talking point from Republicans that they were going to describe Kamala Harris as weird. So they're basically turning it right back on Republicans. Like, you want to call Kamala Harris weird? No, you're weird.
But it's
the childish food fight.
I love middle school. Media. It's fun to be here.
No, I've literally always taken being called weird, because it's happened at least once or twice before. I've always taken it as a compliment, because it does mean sort of not within the norm and curious and interesting. It's just the way they're using it now, like a grade school insult, coming from the party that is recording, anal sex in the Senate, flashing fake tranny titties on the White House lawn, Z0 programs, and they're going to turn around and call somebody else weird? Seriously? I mean, first, it is a compliment. It means you're unique. But the people doing it, they're not weird. They're degenerates and hypocrites. But it is, it's funny politics.
I don't care for that line. I'm just like, I'm weird.
Yeah.
I've always been and always will be and endeavor to do so.
You're reminded of the deplorables line that Hillary Clinton used against Trump, and everybody proudly embraced the term. We are deplorables. So it's very interesting. Why aren't the Republicans this time being like, yes, we're weirdos. We're weirdos for Trump.
And again, like to Viva's point, who is calling you weird? Like their main candidate for being weird is JD Vance, who's married, successful, and has a family.
And served in Iraq. I mean,
weird guy. That fellow.
That should have been the retort. If that's weird, I want to be weird.
The response is okay.
I think that's the thing, though.
Next question,
I
guess.
It doesn't matter what they think, and I think part of it is this is all turning into a very hyper emotional moment. The reality is, Kamala Harris was a progressive prosecutor who did terrible things, and I don't want her to lead the country. I think she's not a good pick. There was a reason that she couldn't secure the Democratic nomination in the first place. So they can say JD Vance is weird, and her party can acknowledge that she's weirdly unpopular. I mean, what's telling about this is, like, it's not weird that she's unpopular. She's not likable. She was never popular. But ultimately, like, this is just some sort of narrative storm that we'll get for these 2 weeks. She'll formally be installed. The media thing will move on.
And we're going to continue the march of the celebrities endorsing Harris,
Yeah.
making her cool. She was just down campaigning in Georgia with a big crowd, with a
Megan Thee Stallion
twerking on stage. So,
but again, like,
we are the establishment. You're the weirdos,
right? And are these the celebrities that you like? Like, do you want to model your life after
Hamills,
these people?
You want the
I don't know.
So here's a clip
and maybe a little more
from The Daily Show that here, we'll play this clip.
so about JD Vance because of how odd he's turned out to be.
I gotta tell
Odd.
Whoa, hold on, like full stop, like what?
It's comedy. It's laughter.
No, but
By
I
the
mean,
way,
like,
interrupt
he said
this
how
every-
how odd he's turned out to be. I'm like, no, seriously, like what? I read the news all day, every day. I read everything.
It looks like he's wearing eyeliner. His deep blue eyes are very weird. I actually find his.
Is that what they're arguing?
I don't know. I don't know.
My point is this: they're not saying anything. And listen to what Jon Stewart says. Let me play this.
boy, did that dude drop a turd on launch. Like, I've never seen
What
anything
the-
like
listen,
that.
listen, listen.
They were like, one day they were like, the heir to the MAGA fortune and the Prince JD shall march. And he comes out and he's like, I hate cat ladies, you know.
This is like,
of course, the cat lady
but-
comment was old, and he's
but hold on, like this is almost on par with Bill Maher being like, Jack Posobiec says we endeavor to end democracy. Like Jon Stewart saying that, I'm just kind of like, okay. Oh, I don't. What's odd? A guy criticized cat ladies?
No,
The
I think
Simpsons made fun of cat ladies for 10 years.
I figured it out. What's weird is that he married an immigrant, and the Democrats are the party of racists. So that flip it around that way. It's weird that he married an immigrant. He's married happily with 2 kids, served in Iraq, had a successful business. That is weird to a bunch of degenerates who demand.
My
Three
point
kids,
is
he's over replacement level.
My point is that there's no substance to this in any way, and it's not even a strong attack, as it were. I mean, they lie about Trump so much. They say Trump said he wants to ban all Muslims from the country, and he called Nazis very fine people. And I'm like, that's a lie. Like, those are egregious. And don't get me wrong, Trump did say early on, he's like, we got to, put a stop on Muslims entering the country until we can figure out what's going on. The very fine people, the Muslim ban, as they called it, was actually 7 countries, which included countries that were not Muslim. And Trump never called white nationalists very fine people. He actually literally denounced them. They will outright lie in the press, run those lies, and I'm like, that's egregious. This time they're like, oh, he's odd, and I'm like, okay.
Well, Trump's team deserves a huge part of the blame, right? Because they weren't there to fill in the gaps. Nobody really knew who JD Vance was. So the Democrats leapt at the opportunity to define him as a weirdo and then propose all the other details about him and who he was.
But
and the Trump campaign wasn't filling in the gaps. Even supporters of JD Vance were not out there defending him or filling in the gaps or really explaining who this guy was. They just left it a big vacuum.
They're not saying anything. If they came out and said JD Vance kicks dogs for fun, I'd be like, wow, that's crazy. What are they talking about? That's weird.
I would call that a little bit more projection from Biden.
all Buttigieg did is go, how odd is he? And then he says, I don't like cat ladies. And I was like, oh, did he?
Tim, did you
And
outer
Trump
Ruffs?
did defend Vance pretty recently. He's like, he loves
last night
family,
on Laura Ingraham,
right?
I think.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
they finally got to it, but that was a week ago when they started this. So.
See, I just think it's because it's sort of weird and
It's kind of
irrelevant.
hard to respond
And these
to.
comments are from 2021. Like, Vance was on Megyn Kelly's
Cat
show.
lady.
Right. Like, it's been this weird slow roll of the cat lady thing. At first, they were like, the cat lady.
Widely known.
They're trying to hype it up. These
Mitt
comments are a long time ago.
Mitt Romney complained
then
about
they tried
that.
to say, oh, well, he's actually anti-IVF. That, like, remember Kamala Harris's team put out a Happy World IVF Day to everyone but JD Vance, but he never attacked. He's also, there are like resurfaced comments of him being like, if you can't have family, if you try to, like, we should have empathy for you. That's very sad. Like, I think you're right. Maybe they should have been more aggressive, but there has been a counter narrative to this the whole time. It's just sort of intense hysteria around trying to make JD Vance into some kind of villain, because I think to Viva's point, they can't attack him for his family, so they have to attack him for
Kamala Harris.
not like
Kamala Harris is boring.
Right after the convention, JD Vance went shopping with his kids to Walgreens, and that was like a perfect image to like display him as a family man. Oh, look, he's out with his kids, and then he just kind of went back in the bunker.
You realize that whole couch thing, the rumor or the joke that he pleasured himself to 2 seats of a couch. You haven't heard that? This required the explanation because there was a couch meme about him looking at a couch and the couch is playing like Barry White music and everyone's like, what the hell is this? There's a rumor. Someone misquoted him from the book as having admitted to having pleasured himself between 2 seats of a couch. It's a lie. And yet the left has run with that and memed it, and Mark Hamill has done it. By the way, did you know that even Snopes confirmed that the Fine People hoax was false?
7 years later.
I send this to somebody who's a diehard Democrat, and they say, yes, Snopes got it wrong. And so people, they will believe the lie. I don't think you have to counter their stupidity with much merit. And I don't know how you can own that. Yes, if he's weird, I want to be weird.
But here's the issue. The issue is that conservatives genuinely don't like being called weird, and that was the point of the attack. Not that there was anything actually weird. It's that conservatives are offended by it, and they're trolling and triggering them, and they're riling conservatives up. And honestly, I find it to be quite hilarious watching conservatives on X lose their minds and be like, you call me weird, I'll call you. Here's a picture of you. You can't call me. And I'm just like, I'm weird, bro. I posted a picture of Trump hugging a giant rabbit. It didn't work. So I added storyline. I'm showing you this. I try to keep it as weird as we can.
It's a work of art.
Kamala Harris team
this is my magnum opus.
Confronted you with this.
Oh, I'm so happy. This is my magnum opus, everybody. This is a picture of Trump in paladin armor hugging a giant rabbit, and it says, "You'll never know want or loneliness again," Trump said. "The world was cruel to you, but you have Trump now." You see, I posted one of these, and it got a couple hundred retweets. And that's usually what happens when I post my AI nonsense. This one has got 4 million views.
You got to write a short story to this now. A children's book.
I think you're in the market for a children's book.
Trump and the giant rabbit.
A runaway bunny.
I just want to tell you, the response from the left has been like, boy, these MAGA people are weird. Boy, you're all weird. And I was like, guilty as charged. And they're like, that's what a weird person would say. I'm like, my dude, I'm not running for office. If I was ever president, I would abolish Social Security. I'm never going to run for office. You never want to see me run for office. I will say whatever I feel like saying, and you can call me whatever you want. I'm rolling in it, baby. Like, this makes me laugh. I'm busting out laughing to myself, and they're like, you're weird. And I'm like, uh-huh. And there are conservatives who are like, oh, I never.
I think some of it is our terminally online society, though, right? Like right and left, although I think, a lot of left-leaning people tend to be more, especially young voters tend to be even more active online. But, being called weird or having people respond negatively to something you post or say, like, that hurts the psyche for the online person in a way that is upsetting. Whereas, like, if you unplugged and you're like, I don't actually care about any of your opinions, like whether it's saying you guys are the party that thinks men can be women, so I don't care about your judgment, or just generally said, like, I don't actually know any of you anonymous people who are calling me weird online. Like, it doesn't actually matter.
There's a lot of humorless people on the right-wing Twitter too. Like, you see them retweeting
right and left.
that Angela character. Everyone thinks like,
I know.
I'm like, that's just a character.
Bel Camino?
Right? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, like that's a character, and everyone's like, this is an example. And
she got 30 million views.
Yeah.
So and we're blowing her cover. People are, like, when I tweeted this, they're like, come on, Tim, let it happen. She always posts these things about how she's a bold, childless lib, and it's just her strutting towards the camera and walking away, and conservatives go nuts. And she posted one where she was dancing, and she's like, this 42-year-old child-free lib is loving life. Conservatives are so mad, and she got 30 million views.
Like a lot of people, I think.
She
really
got me so many times before I could finally determine that it was a parody account. I felt stupid. I never got angry. I was like, is she for real? Because it's like, I don't even, if she's for real, I don't want to pick on her. I feel bad for her. But she's amazing. She's amazing.
Well, it's very interesting that the election is really kind of come down to having kids or not having kids. And
I'm so glad natalism is taking center stage.
Kamala Harris's #1 issue is abortion rights. And that's sort of what this election is coming down to.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.